Welcome back, super friends. What's the hubbub? We will explore some news, reactions, alongside an interesting rumored scoop that has emerged. If you have time, please hit the like button if enjoying content. Drop some comments where you agree or disagree below. Also today, to start this edition, here are a couple of new pictures of Superman floating around. The better media we get, the more I wish they were first impressions. The early marketing was at times hit or miss, but the recent push has had better releases. The Superman aura is most definitely there. David Corenswet, I dub the Corenswet. A new promotion has arrived showcasing the Superman World Tour as well.
Citizens of Metropolis.
And the world.
Superman is coming to a city near you.
He's back.
But don't worry, you're not in danger.
We're coming to cities all over the world for the Superman Global Tour.
Superman. Just look up.
And we will see you soon.
The poster looks quite fantastic here, featuring a colorful and smiling, optimistic Superman. It's quite effective. I like a worldwide promotional approach. I disagree with Nerdrotic, who thinks Superman needs to stay American-centric.
The fact that we don't have truth, justice, in the American way in the movie, although the producer Peter Safran said it, I think is a missed opportunity. And you know why they do it? We don't want to piss off the international audiences with truth, justice, the American way. Yeah, while people are, dying to get to this country.
Personally, I see Superman as one of the most globally recognized characters and not just an American symbol. So the inclusion is a great unifying idea, especially knowing this story is being partially built around Superman overstepping his bounds to international lands. That has to be handled with some level of sensitivity, which, by the way, that entire political story element being referred to as a ripoff of Batman versus Superman is quite silly. Gunn may have inspirations from various Superman stories and iterations. The idea that Superman can rip off Superman is ridiculous. Even Snyder took elements from other versions to work in his story.
They can be a great people, Kal-El, they wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way. For this reason, above all, their capacity for good, I have sent them you, my only son.
Also, a BTS-styled promotional video was released.
Who are you again?
I forgot your name. Oh my god.
We're trying to get to work. We've got work to do. I'm taking a detour here. Oh, we're just pulling up to Superman base camp here. We got to shoot our scene today. Can't show you any of it, obviously. Can't tell you what it's about.
We gotta give him an exclusive scoop, though. What can we say? There's a man in a cape. We saw one. You heard it here first, folks. See you next time.
Yep.
Oh my god. Ready?
Let's do it.
Where the chemistry between David and Rachel is quite off the charts great. In another BTS video, we see him training for the role.
That was 4. This is the last one. I'm just not strong enough yet. But I'll be that strong in a week. Okay. It's been a hell of a week at the office. Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
I understand the suit is hit or miss for some fans, but no denying he's put in the work. I feel it's his earlier career too, so don't discount it being tied to the story. I'm more of a reaction and news updates channel at this stage as we head into the DCU launch with Gunn's Superman. I feel it's important for normies and fans alike to not have misinformation heading into it. I did get a reaction request recently towards an interview segment with Christopher McQuarrie on his Superman movie ideas with Henry Cavill. Let's take a look at an older interview and then check out the latest hubbub in a newer interview.
Do you have plans to someday direct a superhero, and which one do you like most?
Yeah, I've never given it much thought. I've talked a couple times about it, and I feel like if the story was right, if the character was right. Love working with Henry. Henry's really great. That's what draws me more, is less about whether it's a superhero movie or science fiction. Yeah, I've worked in everything. I've done historical dramas and science fiction and action. I just really like the story and the actors, who's in it.
Would you direct Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill?
If Henry asked me to, sure, why not?
I do believe this could have been a good movie, a capable director with a Superman that fans overall are pleased with. However, we already saw Snyder Bros unleash a boycott on Black Adam and Cavill for doing a cameo, and it not being a Snyder movie. If you remember, in some interviews, Cavill had made it clear he wanted to move towards a more joyful and hopeful Superman. In fact, he even stated Whedon got his depiction better than Zack Snyder, whom we'd all mostly agree had a better Justice League cut. Here is a portion of the most recent interview with details of how far they got into the idea. I am not sure this project would have been any different getting off the ground with that base.
Henry had a take on that, and I suddenly realized how these two characters had amazing similarities, which also allowed for amazing conflict and an amazing universe-expanding resolution.
Now I'm just getting upset.
Yeah, but I will tell you, the first 5 minutes of my Superman movie, which was imagine you remember Pixar's Up?
Sure.
A sequence with no dialogue that covered that character's.
Yeah.
Okay. The first 5 minutes of the movie was a setup after which you knew exactly what made Superman tick,
Yeah.
and exactly what Superman was most afraid of, and why Superman made the choices that he made. And it would have been epic. It would have been epic. In 5 minutes, the scale of the movie would have been absolutely extraordinary.
I can see the boycott memes already for Cavill being a traitor to plan a movie without Snyder. Aaron Fischer recently looked for some plot clues on Gunn's Superman based on new toy merch.
So what we have here is a commercial where it shows that Superman and the Justice team that they're putting together, they do actually talk about them in the commercial, but it shows that they are going to kill this kaiju. And I said, Superman is going to kill the kaiju. Superman doesn't kill. Isn't that what the Zack Snyder haters have been telling us for the last 10 years, that Superman doesn't kill? Well, he's going to kill the kaiju.
Let me, though, start by saying he made a very civil reply I appreciated recently. We mostly just disagree on the Snyder and Gunn differences, as well as points of view on DCEU versus DCU. He is asserting that Superman will kill the kaiju. This is a toy ad. As Gunn points out, it is not actual film footage. Ha! I think there's a lot that is being assumed ahead of the July release. On the optimistic side, we may see, in terms of the positive potential outcome, the detractor side tends to take the worst interpretation of what's out there, especially as we near opening night. They ramp up criticism.
They also showed this Ultraman figure from McFarlane Toys, which is also going to be up for sale. And again, it shows you how they're not accurate to the comics at all, because Ultraman does not look like this in the comics at all.
As far as Ultraman not being comic accurate, yes, anyone who has watched and liked Gunn's movies will even say he gets inspired and does his adaptation from comics, reimagining characters to film. Ultraman could be an amalgamation of different characters.
And it's pretty crazy because James Gunn does not do stuff comic accurate. Let's put it that way. If they were going to do Ultraman, he would look nothing like the figure on the right. Now, we don't know what's under the suit, but I'm assuming it's not going to look like Superman. And there's a lot of speculation that, it's Tyler Hoechlin. It's Henry Cavill, which is not going to be Henry Cavill, people. That will never happen.
Which we continue to speculate on. Superman or Lex clone, an alternate universe Superman, or an interesting unexplored theory. He's a version of a cyborg Superman, tying in to the robots in the Fortress, basically then rebranded as Ultraman by Lex. Also, to any Snyder bros or advocates out there, don't assume that every Gunn optimist such as I are haters of the Zod kill moment. I may criticize the tornado execution of scene, for example, as no film is perfect. I still think, however, that Man of Steel was a decent start off of Nolan's story plan. The problem is Batman vs. Superman was a terrible launch point for Snyderverse and not a good movie, in my opinion. I do tend to agree with Aaron as far as Cavill unlikely to be behind the mask. It would be an interesting moment. Fans on both sides could like it if done well. I just think Gunn is charting a reboot and rebuild for the verse, so doubtful he'd go this route. We shall see when the movie is out soon. Next, I'm not typically a scooper channel, but I and other DCU-centric channel owners do get submitted info we either share or delete from time to time. I hesitated to share this rumor with the recent runtime report out there of 2 hours and 2 minutes. However, it supposedly comes from a source that has reported scoops on screenings before to Chris Gore of Film Threats.
The Post.
Perhaps Chris will cover this as well in an upcoming video, or can confirm if hearing it. Anyways, I have prefaced this enough. The rumor states James Gunn has yet to confirm the runtime. They have settled down on 2 cuts of the film. Even into June, they will likely still run additional screen tests. One of the cuts has a shorter interview scene with Lois. Also, Ultraman may believe he is operating under a hero role, as he enforces the rule of law on Superman, but also will help him fight the Kaiju. The longer cut dives further into an ending where, potential spoiler here,
What is the S?
Lex has a contingency plan. Basically, he does try to destroy Superman, but when he sees he is stronger through the challenges than expected, he makes sure that Superman is saved, in part by him. This is to give a public perception that he has teamed up to help him with a larger threat against the world. Superman will see through this but can't do anything about it. Lex will end up looking like a hero, the human that saved Superman. Very interesting. If true, let me know in the comments below how you'd feel about the plot points. Ultraman by the book hero. Also, if the runtime is the shorter 2 hour and 2 minute version, how would you feel about that? Personally, I feel some of the best superhero movies have ran around that time. It wouldn't bother me. For example, Iron Man was 2 hours and 6 minutes. Raimi's Spider-Man was 2 hours and a minute. Guardians of the Galaxy was exactly the same at 2 hours and 2 minutes. Incidentally, Star Wars, A New Hope was 2 hours and a minute. Empire Strikes Back was 2 hours and 4 minutes. As you can see, there are a lot of examples of great films in that runtime range. All this may be moot till we hear from Gunn himself with an official announcement. I think we can say for certain it will be between 2 hours to 2 hours and 30 minutes long. What matters is the movie itself working and the pacing feeling justified to whatever the final runtime actually is. With that, we have covered today's edition of The Hubbub. As always, look up, not back. Eyes to the skies, and take care of yourselves and others. We fly in July.